everybody, and welcome to this episode of Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr., where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and now podcasting. And tonight on Hank's Corner, as always, I have a very special guest. She is the TRMA Female Vocalist of the Year for 2021 and 2020. She is a singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer, and a children's author. Her middle name is Sunshine. Please welcome Erica Lee. Erica, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. And so where are you calling in from today?
Today I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 100 degrees out here. So it's pretty scorching, but there's blue skies and cacti. So I'm having a good time. I just hung out in the pool.
Okay, at 100 degrees is too hot for me. I was actually out there in Arizona not too long ago, and I don't care about the dry heat versus humidity heat. It's still too hot. And for the viewers that don't know, we've actually having a little bit of technical difficulties getting this podcast going because your phone is melting over there.
My phone overheated, so I had to put it in the refrigerator to be able to call in.
So that's how hot it is. I don't care about humidity or not. But so you've been actually traveling all over the place, though. Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm always traveling, but this last month has been amazing. I started it out in Roatan late April, and I played for the Central Oklahoma Parrothead Club out in Roatan, Honduras. And it was gorgeous at the Mayan Princess Resort, looking out into the gorgeous turquoise ocean and playing songs with Ricky Lamb. So that was a lot of fun for a week. And then I moved to Key West for a week for the Songwriters Festival. It was the Key West Songwriters Festival. The first one I played was 11 years ago, and I've been playing every year since. So it was really great to go back. Key West has become a home away from home for me. I played there most of the winter and toured down there a lot. So my songs, Key West Blue and Mojitos, and I'm a Pirate. We've actually filmed a lot of music videos, including Champagne. And my latest one, the title track off of my new album, Same Ship, Different Day. We're all down in the Keys. And then I got to go to Mexico this last week. We were down in Puerto Penasco, which is Rocky Point, south of Arizona, for my third year in a row for the SOB, which is south of the border. It's the SOB festival with about 150 fans. And we got to go down there and play music all week long for the Cia Cortez. So it was magical. And I love the people down there. Obviously, the food's amazing, and getting to perform with some of my buddies, Mike Nash and Wes Loper, Donnie Brewer, Brighton Stahl. So it was a fun week.
And I definitely like living vicariously through your social media. You're, like I said, you're all over the place. Mm-hmm. And you said that you've been to several places multiple times. So tell me, what is your favorite place to go to, or a couple of favorite places that you really like going back to?
Well, I love touring down under in Australia and New Zealand, but since COVID, I haven't been able to go back. But I love touring in Italy. I've toured out there 4 times, and they love country music. I have songs recorded by Half Blood, which is a Italian country band. They've recorded my song "Something to Dance To," and I just blanked. And What Turns Me On. And it's just really cool knowing that country music spans horizons and continents, and being able to hear the song that I wrote sung in an Italian accent, even though they're speaking English, was really cool. And I just love the views, the people, the food. So I'm always enamored with Europe. But the United States is pretty hard to beat as far as diversity, and going from, the mountains in Colorado to film my music video in Utah a month ago. So that'll be coming out later this year. It's called Fragile on the new record. And filmed music videos in California, out in the Redwoods and Santa Cruz Beach. And then I'm from Northeast Georgia, so I love being able to go to Blue Ridge Mountains and just going all over from Tennessee, where I live now. You've got beautiful rolling hills, and then you get into Texas, and it's so much fun seeing the desert out in New Mexico and Arizona. And I just love being able to be in the United States because our national parks are incredible, and the scenery is amazing, and you've got the highs and the lows and the ocean and the snow. So it's really cool.
Yeah, so with all those places that you've been, you're making me exhausted just listening to it. That's just amazing. You're all over, and hopefully when I get to retire, I get to do the same thing too. But you did mention being down in Key West and being down for the Songwriters Festival, and I've noticed that you've been around artists that I've worked with, like Kirstie Kraus and Casey Johns and Aubrey Wollett. How is it to get to work with all that talent down there?
it's been really amazing getting to know them. I've been writing songs with Aubrey for a couple of years now and playing shows, and she's one of my dear friends. And of course, being able to meet Kirstie and Casey recently. And Kirstie released a song we wrote together called Silver. That was on her last album, and a music video was on CN2. So that was really cool to be a part of. Just super down to earth, very talented, and also genuine has been key, because there's a lot of talent in Nashville, but you don't always find genuine, down to earth friends. And I started the Key West Chick Fest this January with 10 female singer songwriters. I wanted to highlight the female talent that often gets overlooked or brushed under the rug, especially in the radio world. And I just didn't want those talented singer-songwriters to fall through the cracks. And so I handpicked them. I had friends come down. We wrote during the day. It was a retreat. And then at night, we got to showcase at the Sunset Pier, so Ocean Key, and then also at Smoking Tuna. And it was a fantastic week. We had such great feedback. So I'm going to do it again next January. The dates and the events and the performers will be released soon. So stay tuned. It'll be on KeyWestChickFest.com.
All right. Well, we'll be looking for that. And I've not actually been to Key West yet. I've been living in Florida for about 3 years now. And I think I need to make my way down to Key West. And so maybe that'll be the first time I go, because that sounds like something interesting to definitely be a part of. But so you reached out to me because you had seen that I did some photographs for Aubrey Wollett. And I'll be honest, when I first, came across you, I didn't really know too much about you. I'd seen you on social media, but of course, to do this, I have to do some of the research. And I could not believe the amount of songs that you have out there. I believe you have 10 albums now, and so many songs. It's about a 45-minute commute to work, and I can go back and forth and listening to Spotify, and I'm not done listening to all your songs, and I love them all.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. I've been writing songs for about 15 years. Went on the road full time after selling cars. I was living in San Francisco, and I went to school out there. And then I started a rock band. And a couple of years later, had a breakup. I kept the guitar and taught myself a couple chords and started writing sad country songs. And I moved back to Nashville. And that's kind of what kickstarted the journey. But I love being able to write songs that are not only therapy for me, but I think that throughout the last decade of learning what the audience likes and what reaches them is to being able to share my stories of hope and healing and humor and kind of integrate my life and weave in stories or things that may not be personal to me, but they feel personal, or I know somebody that's close to that struggled with addiction or a miscarriage or a tragedy or murder. And these are real life topics. And that's why I love country music. I've always written songs that are real and stories that really make a difference. And I love being able to share those. And then part of my life is, traveling to cool places and getting to share my experiences at the beach. And so I love that I've kind of fallen into more of a tropical rock genre, but I'm still a country singer songwriter, just like Kenny Chesney and Alan Jackson and Zach Brown are writing songs about the beach. But then I write songs about praying and drinking or Jesus and mama and trucks and trains and all that too.
And I think that's why I definitely, became a huge fan of yours right away, is because of the variety of songs that you do have out. I mean, I am a huge fan of traditional country music, and I can hear that in some of your songs. But at the same time, one of the songs that I really like Sand Dollars, you got that nice beachy feel, and we're coming up to the summertime, and that's just some of the songs I like to hear out there, either on the beach or by the pool. And so as a matter of fact, I'd like to go ahead and play Sand Dollars as our first song here on Hank's Corner.
Sounds good.
Yep, I got it all planned out. 401k, I'ma pull it out now. Take what I own, sell it online, and cruise on down the coastline. Why wait till retirement age? Might as well live it on up to date. Instead of waiting all my life to afford this life, I can make ends meet doing what I like. Saving money, eating Tuesday tacos, drinking Tecate, and fishing off the dock. So might not be rolling in the dough. I'll be alright down in Mexico, happy as a clam chilling in salt water. As long as I got these sand dollars, I ain't gotta be a millionaire, but I can make it rain on a beach somewhere. In my cheap shades, I can still be a baller, as long as I got these sand dollars. Got my new flip-flops on Amazon. Now the only prime I got's time in the sun. I ain't trying to impress nobody. Take a sunset over a Maserati. So might not be rolling in the dough. I'll be right down to Mexico. Happy as a clam, chilling in salt water. As long as I got these sand dollars. I ain't gotta be a millionaire, but I can make it rain on a beach somewhere. In my cheap shades, I can still be a baller. As long as I got these sand dollars. Even if I had all the pesos, I'd be drinking local cervezas, living off chips and queso. I'd trade a mansion out on Catalina to be hanging out at my favorite cantina. So might not be rolling in the dough. I'll be alright down in Mexico. Happy as a clam, chilling in salt water. As long as I got these sand dollars. I ain't gotta be a millionaire, but I can make it rain on a beach somewhere. In my cheap shades, I can still be a baller. As long as I got these sand dollars. Might not be rolling in the dough. I'll be alright down in Mexico. Happy as a clam, chilling in salt water. As long as I got these sand dollars. I ain't gotta be a millionaire, but I can make it rain on a beach somewhere. In my cheap shades, I can still be a baller. As long as I got these sand dollars. I could probably make more money, but why even bother? As long as I got these sand dollars.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. along with my guest Erica Sunshine Lee, and you just heard Sand Dollars. Now, did I hear a rumor that maybe you might be doing a video of that pretty soon?
Yes, we just filmed the music video in Mexico, as a matter of fact, and it's about being broke and happy. It's called Sand Dollars, and I'm so excited. We filmed it in Puerto Peñasco, where the SOB festival was, and it was so much fun getting to kind of see parts of the town that I haven't seen before, and shoot it at the venues. So we were at Margarita Mermaids and at Boo Bar and at the Hotel Peñasco del Sol. So it was gorgeous. And stay tuned. I'm still deciding which one I'm going to release first. So if you just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Erica Sunshine Lee, and you can stay busy for another hour or two watching some fun videos we filmed from Vegas to Australia to California, Georgia, and beyond.
Okay, so we'll definitely want to be looking for that. Like I said, that is one of the songs that I definitely like, just, getting a drink and relaxing too. So tell me, how did you get into the music business? When did you get that call in, and how did you go about doing it?
Well, Mama posted a video about a week ago of my first concert. I was probably 5 years old at the choir in First Baptist Church, Elberton, Georgia. And I was singing on stage in the choir as a child. And then I started leading worship in a middle school worship band at church, and then high school. And then I started breaking into karaoke bars when I was 18. And when I moved to San Francisco, and I started singing at night whenever I could. And it kind of snowballed from there. So I met a guy named John Lawton, and I started singing in his classic rock band called the Rodeo Clowns. And after 2 years, I quit his band and started my own, grabbed his bass player and his drummer, and we started a band. And next thing you know, I'm touring so much, I had to figure out how to play guitar because I couldn't find a guitarist that could keep up with the gigs that I was booking. So I learned a couple chords, got a capo, and started playing country music. And there you go. I started going on the road full time. I quit at the dealership I was selling cars at in 2007. So I've been on the road now for 15 years full time, playing about 250 shows per year across the country, and pre-COVID, and now back to internationally.
Wow, 250 shows a year. That's more than a baseball schedule right there. That's amazing. So did the music thing come naturally to you? Is that something that, like, you said that you were doing it young, that it just was natural, or did you have to work at it?
Well, you still have to work at it, but I think for me, singing in my heart was always natural, but I never knew I was going to play guitar, much less be in a band and tour, because that wasn't like a a thing when you grow up. That wasn't really an option. I just thought I'd grow up and be a doctor or a real estate agent or something, in a corporate high rise in a big city. So it was interesting after selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, and Hummers for 7 years. But I started teaching myself guitar on YouTube, which was very frustrating. I wanted to break my guitar, I'm sure no less than 100 times when I couldn't get bar chords or I couldn't figure out this new chord. But I just kept at it. And I think I just was so into being able to play, and I loved being able to perform my own songs. And so even though I was in a classic rock band singing, which was so much fun because I love classic rock. And I remember like my first album was Smashing Pumpkins, and I'd listen to Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner and Fleetwood Mac, and then starting to dive into the classic country. So it was always in my soul to listen to music and to love concerts and to be a part of shows. And then when I started singing in a band, that's when it kind of just lit my fire. And then when I started writing music, I think that's when I just clicked, like, this is what I want to do. And I didn't even know that you could do it as a job, because everybody thinks like, oh, what's your real job? Or what else do you do? And I was like, I'm a musician and this is my full-time job. It's a career. I work all the time. And that was when probably in this shift of 2007, 2008, when I went on the road full time, and I knew it's what I wanted to do. And it was scary. I sacrificed a lot. You sacrifice maybe having a family and having stability and sleeping in your own bed and having all these creature comforts that we get used to. But when you've been doing something for a while and you kind of lost the love for that, which is what I tell all my friends, if you're not happy with your job or your life, change your situation or change your attitude. And for me, I just had this like undeniable tug at my heart to just do music full time. And I took the leap of faith, and God's been providing for me ever since. And it was a lot of hard work, because you have to not only write the songs and work on your voice and sing when you're sick and you're not feeling good, or drive 12 hours to get to a gig, but you have to book the shows, and then you have to maintain your social media, and then you have to collaborate with other artists. And so there's a lot of moments where you doubt yourself, or you hope that people are going to love the album you put out, or love the song you write. And of course, everybody's not going to love everything you do. But when you find your people, especially like the last 5 years when I've fallen into more of a tropical rock genre and won awards and been able to share my videos and my vision and my life, I think that's when you succeed in life the most, is when you're happy with what you're doing, you're happy with yourself, you become more confident, and then you just find that it snowballs, and it's just kind of more of an easier road to walk down.
Yeah, and they say that you never have to work a day in your life if you like what you're doing. And yeah, I can tell you like what you're doing. And you mentioned that you've done, about 2,000 songs. Do you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
Not Hard to Replace. And that was on my first and second CD. We recorded it stripped down on the first album, full band with an electric guitar and fiddle on the second album. And I had the lyrics as a poem, and I sang it to my buddy Matt Diggs, and he started playing the melody on guitar, and I started singing to it because I knew what I wanted it to sound like, and it was just beautiful. And it's funny because some of the earlier songs that I wrote, I definitely don't love, or I laugh at, because I kind of look back, and it's all learning experience, and you're always learning in music and songwriting. But there's just something magical and stripped down and raw and special about the earlier songs that I wrote, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know certain chords went with other chords, or I didn't know there was certain rules. So that ignorance was bliss, that I just wrote what was on my heart. And to this day, I've always been raw and unfiltered. And I think that's why a lot of people like my music, because they don't know what's coming out next, whether it's going to be a sad song or a faith-based song about my, salvation in Jesus, or if it's about a drinking addiction, or if it's about cussing a girl out that was mean to me, or Don't Be a Richard, on my new album. And I think it gives people like that real life feel, because you're going to go through times when you need that lighthearted song to make you laugh, or when you need a ballad to make you cry to get through it, because you know that you're not alone.
And I think that's one of the things that, there is a struggle for independent artists, obviously, but I think that's one of the advantages that they have, is that they can, especially with social media, put out whatever they want now. Exactly. And not have to worry about, a company saying, no, don't do that. So it's working for you, keep that up. And one of the songs that I do like that is a little bit more country is Drinking and Driving Me Crazy. And we're going to go ahead and play that here on Hank's Corner. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about your children's books.
Last night was another long and cold the bar and everything was going right. But once again he lost control. Had one too many, so I went home, and I've had about as much as I can take. 'Cause he's drinking and driving me crazy. I've tried to ignore it, but he keeps trying my patience. I thought he changed, it was growing up, but he keeps on drinking to prove he's tough. He's drinking and driving me crazy. I thought things were starting to calm down, especially since he's almost 30 now. I didn't realize he had so much booze till we got in the car and he lost his food and left it down the side of my car. Yeah, he puked. 'Cause he's drinking and driving me crazy. I've tried to ignore it, but he keeps trying my patience. I thought he changed, it was growing up, but he keeps on drinking to prove he's tough. He's drinking and driving me crazy. How am I supposed to brush it under the rug? There's a fine line between buzzing and too much. You get louder and louder as the night rolls on. Sloppy and annoying, and your attitude comes in tomorrow. Another wasted hangover. 'Cause he's drinking and driving me crazy. I've tried to ignore it, but he keeps trying my patience. I thought he changed, it was growing up, but he keeps on drinking to prove he's tough. He's drinking and driving me crazy. Yeah, he's drinking and driving me crazy.
And that was Drinking and Driving Me Crazy by Erica Sunshine Lee here on Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. So tell me a little bit about you being an author, and you write children's books?
I have. My first children's book was called Butterfly, and it was actually just the song lyrics of the song on my third album. And I'd always pictured that as a little children's story because I feel like it's just encouraging kids to chase their dreams, even though that kind of is scary. And sometimes you're not sure how to or what the path is. But my mission and message in that was just sometimes it takes sacrifice. Sometimes it's lonely, but it's worth it in the end if that's what you want to do to be happy. And sometimes you chase that dream and you realize it wasn't the dream you really wanted, or you shouldn't have chased it, but you learn from it and you kind of change your dreams or your perception. So that was the deeper meaning with that song and that children's book. And then the second one was just a book I wrote for kids not to be mean to each other. And I love that it came out, and it's right in line with my tour right now, Don't Be a Richard, because I think adults need to read the book as much as kids, especially after COVID and everybody's looking online and just reaming people for their beliefs or their decisions and their opinions. And even the song that I wrote with Aubrey Wollett, You Can Still Be Friends with Me. And then the whole goal behind this song is like, your words matter. And in the book, Billy the Bully, I wanted parents to read it and have that discussion with their kids. Like, are you being bullied, or are you the bully? And what are things you can do to prevent that? Or what are things you can do once it does happen? Because I think, let's face it, we've all been in a situation where we felt lesser than, or we've gotten picked on or made fun of. And I mean, middle school kids, heck, elementary school kids, high school kids are brutal. Adults can be a lot more brutal, I think, behind their keypad. But in schools, you've got kids that are killing themselves because they got picked on or made fun of because of braces or glasses or a scar or deformities or, you know, their upbringing or their clothes. And it's just such a tragedy. And I just wanted to bring it to light in maybe more of a lighthearted way with the song, Don't Be a Richard. But the overall message is to just be kind, and your words matter. And like, you can pick somebody up or put them down. You can bring life with your words, or you can crush with your words. And so it starts at an early age, and parents to be able to have that discussion to say, like, this is right and this is wrong and this is okay, but don't hurt somebody, because you never know what the words can do to affect somebody and leave it a long time lasting scar and to destroy them, versus just don't say it. You know, you can keep some things in, and I know I'm unfiltered and I say whatever I think, but I was raised, the same philosophy. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all.
Yeah, and that's definitely interesting. Whether it's writing books or writing music, words are definitely powerful, and the meaning behind that. And the old saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me, is just kind of so untrue because there is so much power in words. And like you said, it could bring somebody down or it can lift somebody up, and it's whatever you choose to use your words on is how somebody's going to react to that. And I must thank you for taking that road and kind of going, like you said, with whether it's the songs or the books, to kind of put that message out there in an entertainment way as well.
Thank you. And it's been really cool. I think that the best part is going to schools and being able to read it in the classroom and have that discussion of, we're all different and we all come from walks of life. And no matter where you are, who you come from, what you look like we're all humans. We're all created in the God's image. We're all loved and cherished. And it's so frustrating to see people just getting beaten down because of those things that they can't even change. And so if nothing else, hopefully that they'll have the discussion at the end of the book. There's a Q&A, and I left room for kids to have little word search of kind words and to give it thought and to really pause before they say that mean thing that is the knee-jerk reaction that you want to say. And we're all guilty of it. Nobody's perfect. But to realize that, there again, what you choose to say can make or break somebody else's day or life. And so you just don't want to be responsible for hurting somebody else.
Yeah. And so I assume you haven't written 2,000 books like you have songs. How many books have you written?
I've only
just those two.
Children.
So during the last break, we had talked a little bit about, being a country person and some of the liberties that you can have with that as far as, writing lyrics. But along those lines, you have a song out called Everyone Loves a Country Girl. Tell me a little bit about that in the backstory.
Well, it's funny. There's a skinny drink company, and it was called Skinny Margaritas or something. And I saw that their slogan was like, everyone loves a country girl. And I was like, you dang right they do. And I'm from Northeast Georgia, and it's hard to, I guess I come from a small town to where everybody knows everybody, and it's just real easy to be yourself and down to earth. And you don't always have to be done up and surgery and fake. And I just imagine the Ellie Mae and the Dolly Partons of the world and the Daisy Duke, and everybody just loves down home country folk, especially simple country girls. And that's how I was raised. And it's just a fun song that could allow, them to sing along and people to smile and picture those good old days. And I thought that was a really cool vibe. And I love seeing girls get up and dance and sing, and they're proud, of their heritage. They're proud of their roots. They're proud to be country. And that's the anthem that I wanted to share with my fans.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and play Everyone Loves a Country Girl here on Hank's Corner.
Margaritas to unwind, pretty as a picture swinging on a front porch swing. If you pour up a cocktail, mix it up right, and sit around the fire till the morning light in your flat flannel shirts and some cut-off jeans. Yeah, you're just like me, from Ellie Mae to Daisy Duke, rolling in the hay in the cowboy boots, from the north to the south, east to the west, straw hats, tail legs, and a little sundress. Raise your glass up high all night long, make a toast to this song, singing all around the world. Everyone loves a country girl. We get down and dirty in red clay, mud riding trucks on Saturday, and we sure know our way around the kitchen. And even when a 4-letter word slips out, it's like sweet honey dripping from our mouth. We say words like, y'all ain't in fixin'. We ain't just below the Mason-Dixon. From Ellie Mae to Daisy Duke, rolling in the hay in the cowboy boots, from the north to the south, east to the west, straw hats, tail legs, and a little sundress. Raise your glass up high all night long. can ride on a horse or a 4x4. We like to drink, dance, and party some more. It don't matter where you're from, we ain't hard to find. No, we don't care about glamour and glitz. Take a log cabin any day over the Ritz. We ain't afraid of living it up to have a good time. Living on the walk of line. Get a little crazy on that homegrown shine. From Ellie Mae to Daisy Duke, rolling in the hay and the cowboy boots. From the north to the south, east to the west, straw hats, tail legs, and a little sundress. Raise your glass up high. All night long, make a toast to this song, singing all around the world. Everyone loves a country girl. Oh, everyone loves a country girl. Oh, 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 everyone loves a country girl.
And that was Everyone Loves a Country Girl here on Hank's Corner. My special guest, Erica Sunshine Lee. So this last section, I want to know a little bit more about you, personally. You've already talked about the travel question, so I won't ask that. But when you are traveling, I assume that you're listening to music. You're on my playlist. What's on your playlist?
That's a good question. A lot of times I ride in silence because I'm writing songs as I'm driving. Like I get hooks in my head or ideas in my head. In fact, I wrote Tupelo driving to Missouri a couple months ago. So it does happen a lot, but I love classic rock. I love Fleetwood Mac and the surprising playlist, because I will easily put on Rolling Stones, Led Zepp, get pumped up listening to Journey and Foreigner. I love all that. I love old school country. I'll get in a Willie Nelson mood, or my Hank, or my Loretta Lynn. Modern day country, I'm really digging Ashley McBryde. I love Carly Pearce's latest album. Anything Eric Church does. But the most maybe surprising is my first album was Smashing Pumpkins. So I'm a 90s grunge girl. I love Nirvana. I love REM because I'm from near Athens, Georgia. And I think that the guiltiest pleasure and most surprising would be Sade.
Okay. All right. And
She's
so you
baby making music.
It sure is. And so you mentioned some of these, well-known artists, but tell me, who are some of the lesser-known artists that you're really digging right now that we should be aware of that might be blowing up anytime soon?
Baker Grissom is on fire. I love his songs. He's so clever. He is so quirky, unique, genius. I love being able to play songwriters nights in Nashville. Andrea Goodman's a good friend of mine. I love Aubrey Wollett's songs. Like, she is so genuine playing. A lot of the trop rock artists I've gotten to play with, she is just super down to earth and talented. As far as some of the unknown artists that I've gotten to write with or play with in Nashville, Josiah Siska is killing it right now, and he is old school country as it gets. So I think that if you like old school country, if you like George Jones and George Strait, and you're gonna love his deep country voice.
All right. And I always love hearing about these upcoming artists. And as far as, I ask a lot of times about the food people like to eat, but I'm interested in asking you, because since you've been all over the place, you've got to have all kinds of different foods that you enjoy. So tell me about some of them.
I love food in general. I'm probably not a fan of Indian food, but most of the food, like I'm obsessed with Italian food, and Italy's got the best food in the world, in my opinion. I also love a good steak. So yes. I've got my steak spots. I love the ahi tuna in Key West. I mean, at the Sunset Pier is amazing. Smoking Tuna has amazing tuna nachos. I live for food. Like, I absolutely am such a foodie. In fact, I do Dine with Sunshine on my Instagram page, and I do little kind of video blogs about that. But there's certain restaurants like Chapeau in San Francisco is my favorite French restaurant. I loved the food in Rocky Point. I had a great time down there. Even the nachos or the street tacos are awesome. I love Thai food, and when I go to Thailand, my favorite dishes are pad Thai and tom kha gai soup. But I mean, there's just so many places I can't even name. But all over the country, I do have my certain like places I have to go here and I have to get this certain thing. This is like my favorite dessert, or this is my favorite like meal if I'm my last meal I'm done. But I'm a big ribeye girl. I love steak.
I love that too. And do you do any cooking yourself?
I love to cook. In fact, one of my songs is called Put Some South in Your Mouth. And I learned how to cook from my mama and my granny and YouTube. And thank you, Trisha Yearwood, and some other Southern women that are out there with cooking shows. I know Hannah Dasher has a great blog. I love following her on TikTok, and she's a friend of mine. And she's a super Southern Georgia girl with a great cook. Gussie from Little Big Town is another singer, songwriter, and cook. But I can stack it up to any of them. I've got chicken and dumplings that'll make you smack your grandma. I can bake the best chocolate chip cookies. I had actually started selling my pound cakes during COVID because they were so popular around my hometown, and I probably baked 55 pound cakes that month and a half. So I love to bake. I love to cook. One of my other favorite dishes to cook, I love chicken parmesan, or just making like a good pesto pasta. So I'm really into cooking. When I get the chance to be in the kitchen, I love to take over.
Okay, great to hear some of that stuff. So we still got a few months left in the year. I mean, we're barely getting into the summertime, so a lot can happen within the remainder of the year. So what should we expect from Erica Lee the rest of the year?
Well, I'm going to be releasing my next music video probably in the next month, and then I'm touring from Florida to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, San Diego, Mexico, back through Texas, and then even a Washington run out in Seattle. So back to Key West for the winter. So I will be everywhere, and you've got to add me on Bands in Town so you know when I'm near you so you don't miss a show. And you can join the fan club at ericasunshine.lee.com. Looking forward to writing more music. I'm going back in the studio recording some brand new songs, always working on my next project. And I can't wait to see which song out of the double album, Same Ship, Different Day, that y'all love the most. And hopefully I'll get to see you at a show real soon.
All right. Well, you got so much going on. So definitely everybody check out her social media, check out her website, ericasunshine.lee.com, to kind of keep up with her. I mean, you might need somebody else to help you do it as well. So, but thanks for coming on my show, Erica. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping to see you out there in one of these spots. And in the meantime, if you ever want to be a guest here on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the new music video.
Everybody's talking about the ball game coming up. I've got my colors on, showing my team some love, and relaxing with a little something in my cup. Fill it on up, fill it on up, fill it on up. Give me some of that good time, cheap wine, soaking up the sunshine, like the good old days ain't all rolled back. Give me some of that, give me some of that, give me some of that good time. Give me some of that taste of a kiss on a hot summer night, the kind you can't wait for, gotta have more. Feels so right, feels so right, feels so right. Give me some of that good time. Oh, give me some of that good time. I got some buddies hanging out in a cooler full of beer, and a stash out in my back shed with a couple jars of that clear, so we can turn it on up, turn it on up, turn it on up. Give me some of that good time, cheap wine, soaking up the sunshine, like the good old days ain't all rolled back. Give me some of that, give me some of that, give me some of that good time. Give me some of that taste of a kiss on a hot summer night, the kind you can't wait for, gotta have more. Feels so right, feels so right, feels so right. Give me some of that good time. Oh, give me some of that good time. Give me some got the music playing loud, the neighbors up the street came by to see what's going on. And we're already on the third round of beer pong. Somebody's passing around a bottle, somebody's passed out, but ain't nobody about to leave this house. People dancing around and they're spilling the drink. Come on, let me hear you sing. Give me some of that good time, cheap wine, soaking up the sunshine, like the good old days ain't all rolled by. Give me some of that, give me some of that, give me some of that good time. Give me some of that taste of a kiss on a hot summer night, the kind you can't wait for, gotta have more. Feels so right, feels so right.